it's Lisa. Welcome to my backyard studio. This fall, I harvested way more seeds than I could count, probably hundreds of thousands of seeds. Some of them I've already scattered, and some of them are in the fridge right now stratifying for the winter. But winter is over, and I still have several bags of native plant seeds, and time is running out. Can I get these seeds sorted and ready to plant, or will thousands of them go to waste because I waited too long? This is probably the most important seed haul I'll ever make. For aspiring native plant gardeners and new gardeners, this is the abundance of a native plant garden. It's an abundance of seeds for you and for your community. So in the fall, I have big dreams about what I'm gonna do with the seeds that I gather from my backyard. But by the time the winter gets here, I'm just so exhausted. Now that spring is here, I really can't remember what my plan was for these seeds. I need to do an inventory, but I didn't want to bring the seeds inside. They probably have like bugs, dust, and pollen that I'm allergic to. Yes, I'm a gardener with allergies. It's miserable. So yes, I decided that I was going to sort the seeds outside. Luckily, we've got a beautiful day today, very unusual weather for late February, and here we are. So let's get it. I'm going to get some gloves. A lot of these seeds can be spiky and they have little sticky things on them, and that's because it helps the seeds stick to like animal fur, or we live in a very active area. So I'm gonna divide these seeds into 3 big categories. There's seeds that I'm gonna cold stratify in the fridge so I can grow them indoors under lights. These are just plants that maybe the seed is a little bit more difficult to get, or it's a little bit more expensive, and I really want each of these seeds to grow. Some of these are like seeds that I collected from my spice bush, from my chinkapin oak, New Jersey tea, and a few American plums. Some plants like the spice bush are supposed to have 90 to 120 days of cold stratification. That's basically the entire winter. So those are in the fridge right now. I also collected a bunch of redbud seeds, and I did a boiling water treatment on them. This is where you pour boiling water on the seeds, and that helps to loosen up the seed coat. It lets the seed absorb a little bit of water and get ready to sprout sooner. Sometimes redbud seeds can take 2 seasons to sprout. So this boiling water treatment will kind of set them up for quick germination. I have a lot of thousands of these seeds. Second kind of seed. These are the seeds that I'm just going to surface sow. That's like a fancy name for I'm just going to throw them on the ground. These are some seeds that I'm going to sow in larger gardens, maybe at my friend's house who has more land, and some of it will go to a community native garden. This is when I have a lot of seed that I couldn't possibly grow on my own land. Seed that doesn't really need much help to sprout. Finally, my last and favorite category are seeds that I'm going to cold stratify myself in the fridge to give away later. Let's be real, most people are very busy, and the average gardener really doesn't have experience with cold stratifying their seeds. So without that experience, they might not be very successful. To avoid wasting seeds or having my friends be disappointed, I just do the community a favor and stratify the seeds for them in advance. That way, when May comes around and everybody's ready, everybody's excited about planting their seeds in the garden, when the weather gets warm, all they have to do is put the seeds in the ground and watch the plants grow. It's kind of like including batteries in a gift when you give someone something that needs batteries. Let them enjoy the seeds without the hassle, and when the plants start growing right away, they're going to get a lot of confidence with these native plants. So how can I tell which seeds need moist cold stratification? Because I'm in the Midwest, I use prairiemoon.com for most of my information on native plant germination. You have to know what species you have, and then you can look it up in the search on their website under germination codes. If you don't live here, I would do a search for how to germinate XYZ plant. That'll give you a lot of information that you can kind of sift through on how to germinate the seeds that you have. Try to use the scientific name instead of, for example, how to germinate milkweed, because there's actually a lot of different species of milkweed. They might need different requirements. So I would search for something like how to germinate Asclepias incarnata if you know the scientific species. This would make sure that I'm getting the best information on the plant. Let's just go through it one side to the other. Let's take a look here. Oh, did we start with my favorite? Look at this. I'll give you some close-ups here just so that you can kind of see what they look like. This is Filipendula rubra, Queen of the Prairie. I'm going to do a whole video on this plant because it's really one of my favorites, and it's something I rarely see. Can't remember the last time I've really seen it in someone's yard. If you have a ditch in your front yard, like, this is perfect to put in that ditch. It's a beautiful flower. It loves water. So if you have an area where, grass doesn't grow, or it's like really hard to mow in the ditch because it's really wet, you can grow a bunch of Queen of the Prairie and it will spread out really nicely. This one takes a little bit longer to grow from seed, but I really don't care. I have hundreds, maybe probably thousands of seeds. Here's what the flower looks like. This is how big it is. And it's just a beautiful flower. It has a lot of pollen, not a lot of nectar, but little bees love the pollen. Pollen is like the robust part of the meal. It's got protein and fats in it. Nectar is also really good for our pollinators, but they also need pollen for their little bee babies. Let's see what else we got. Okay, these are... Okay, I almost don't want to remove them because the seeds are so small. And we'll show you. This is great blue lobelia. It comes on these tall stalks. I'm pretty sure I have a really good picture of these. And their seed is almost like powder. It's so tiny. When you open it up, you can kind of see the little tiny seeds come out. So I don't want to waste a lot of the seed. It's probably just coming off everywhere in this bag. I'm going to put this back in the bag. But very excited to have great blue lobelia, also a plant that tolerates a lot of water. It likes moist sites. It's definitely like a moist, wetland adjacent kind of plant. It has a sibling, cardinal flower, and cardinal flower is a beautiful red flower. It's a little more picky about where it likes to live. Sometimes it's just short-lived and you get a cardinal flower for 1 year and it's beautiful and then it's gone, or it'll start popping up in different places in your garden. If you're enjoying the channel, go ahead and subscribe, give a like, or just watch to the end of the video. That really helps us out. It lets YouTube know that people are interested in native plants. I also want to give a shout out to Christina for being the first person besides my dad to sign up for my Patreon. Thank you so much. It really means a lot to me. Okay, what's next? Oh, can't forget this one. Smells like Penstemon. Penstemon digitalis. Every sunny garden needs Penstemon digitalis. It gives you a ton of seeds. The seeds are really small. Yeah, I can see them coming out already. I'm just going to kind of collect them right here. Penstemon's wonderful. Just, you see bees all over it. It blooms a little bit earlier in the summer, so that's kind of nice, maybe early June. But Penstemon digitalis, really amazing plant. The fact that they produce so many seeds means that you're really going to see them spread out in the garden. You can pluck them out and move them, or you can just grow more, and that's a plant of abundance right there. Okay, let's check out this next one. I don't know what's in these, honestly. It's been... Oh, hello. And it's ironweed. I'm so happy to see this. I love ironweed. Now, a lot of these are kind of wetland plants because there's a property that I work on in sort of a former wetland area that was then turned into farmland and then was turned into a neighborhood, just like most places. But it was a former wetland, so we do have a big rain garden there, and we have a lot of ironweed. It does really well, beautiful purple flowers. It's such a pretty seed head, honestly. PSA, if you have seeds like this, don't bother throwing them on a golf course or somewhere where there's grass or a public park. They already treat the grass and they mow it. It's just going to be a waste of seed, and it might just be mildly annoying to the landscapers. Try to use this seed in areas where it's going to be able to grow. If you don't have that on your land, then Facebook is a really good place to give away seed. Gardeners are always connecting with each other and looking for opportunities to exchange things like seeds and plants. Okay, what's next? Oh, okay. Yes, this is Golden Alexander. Golden Alexander is an abundant plant. Look at all these seeds. The bag that I have is almost completely full. I love Golden Alexander. Now take a look. Kind of looks similar to a dill plant, and it'll have these dill-like flowers, these yellow flowers. But this is not dill. This is actually a native plant to North America. A lot of people plant dill for the swallowtails. This is what you want to plant for the swallowtails. It's officially one of their host plants. Kind of, we got lucky that swallowtails will eat dill and they will eat parsley as well. This is really what they're looking for. I got these from a city native garden, and it was just overrun with Golden Alexander. I was able to take some of the seed heads with permission because they aren't looking to increase the Golden Alexanders there. So they have a very healthy population there, but are looking to add some more diversity to the garden. There were plenty more for the birds and anybody else who likes to eat these seeds. These are going to go on my friend's property where they actually don't have any Golden Alexander. That'll help us out and bring more diversity to the garden. That's what we're always looking for. Sometimes a garden will become overrun with one or two species that's more aggressive than the others. That's why you have to watch your garden all the time and kind of see, is one of these plants really taking up more space than the others? Do I want to maybe take some of those out and redistribute, give them away to someone else? Oh, I have so many seeds. Oh my God. Okay, what do we have? This is... Rudbeckia triloba. So I'm going to go ahead and take these out. So I cut them kind of short. I believe this is Rudbeckia triloba. I'm pretty sure. I'll double check. I'm getting excited. This is like Christmas morning. What's next? Everybody knows these. Purple coneflower. Tons of spiky purple coneflowers. These are a little bit hard to get the seed out. You kind of got to shake them because they're really spiky. They actually hurt really bad if you just grab them. The birds are so good at perching on this, getting the seeds out. We have an abundance of purple coneflower. I really left more than half for the birds. Usually the birds that I see on the coneflower are finches, sometimes some of the smaller birds that I can't identify. I'm not really a bird expert. We do have goldfinches that love the purple coneflowers, so I leave most of them up, and then I did take some for planting. Hey, here's my hat. Oh my goodness, I was looking for my hat. If you can kind of zoom in here. This is gonna have to go in the wash. Lisa likes plants. All right, we'll wash that. No, please don't blow these over. Okay, it's just a gentle breeze there. All right, that could have been bad. This is asters. Yeah, this is probably going to be New England aster. And New England aster is very prolific. You don't even have to collect seeds and plant them. They will seed all over your yard. It's really a beautiful, beautiful late season plant. A lot of people will plant milkweed for monarchs, but if you plant asters, that really helps the monarchs when they're on their long journey home. If they're going south to Mexico, these asters bloom late in the season. That gives them lots of nectar so that they can make that trip because they got to fuel up. I can't believe they travel all the way to Mexico. We need to plant asters to give them a fueling station on their way home to Mexico. I gotta be careful because this one's gonna blow around. Is this our last bag? I can't believe it. I felt so overwhelmed. Now this one, okay, this also looks like purple coneflower. However, I think it's Echinacea pallida. So you can see how these look really similar. Really similar. I remember I did harvest Echinacea pallida because I just love Echinacea pallida. It's a drought-resistant form of purple coneflower. It's pale purple coneflower. I love it. It lives a long time. It's got a deep taproot. You know, it doesn't look as showy as the purple coneflower. That's the truth. It looks a little bit more scraggly. I don't care. I love it. And I love that it blooms earlier than purple coneflower. That's it. Okay, I did it. Thank goodness. And now the wind is picking up, so I think that's my cue to go. I'm gonna secure these so that they don't blow away, and I'm gonna put them in containers, sort them based on where they're gonna go. Maybe we'll get a little bit of footage of me distributing them. So just remember, if you start growing native plants, you're gonna have thousands of leftover seeds too. And if you're looking for the perfect plant for your Midwestern garden, you might wanna check out this video for inspiration.